Even though today is International Women's Day on the calendar, there are no shortages of phenomenal moments from women in the mountain bike world all year long. Now, to recognize just some of those, today we're looking back at some monumental moments that have taken place in the last year, and we're going to celebrate the big wins. Now, you could say that 2023 was a near perfect season for Valley Hull, winning both the UCI Downhill World Cup overall title and the UCI Downhill World Champions. Now, we are seeing some of the most competitive racing we've ever seen in women's downhill, and any weekend could see any particular competitor take that top step. Of the 8 World Cup races in 2023, Valley landed on the podium 7 times and won 4 of those events with an average margin of about 5.25 seconds. Her biggest winning gap was a massive 13 seconds in Mont Saint Anne to finish off the season extremely strong. To secure the overall win, Valley was up by 529 points to her closest competitor at the end of the season. After an eventful few years battling an Achilles injury from 2019 and becoming a new mom in 2021, Rachel Atherton had a soft return to racing in 2022. With 5 UCI World Champs titles to her name and 6 overall World Cup titles since her elite racing debut in 2006, there's no denying she is one of the best mountain bike racers in history. And when she returned to a select few World Cup races in 2023, she showed the world she still means business. Rachel's win in Lenzerheide at the 2023 season opener event secured her a monumental 40th first place finish in the UCI Downhill World Cup. Rachel followed that up with a 3rd place in Leogang, and I think I can speak for us all here. We really hope to see more of her in the 2024 season on the World Cup circuit. Unfortunately, Mother Nature did not agree when it came to race day in 2023 at Hardline, Wales, and the final event was canceled. However, the hefty women's field that showed up impressed all week long. Riders included Jess Blewett, Vinnie Armstrong, Tawny Seagrave, Louise Ferguson, Cami Nogueira, and Hannah Bergman. Coming into a competition like this 9 years after its inception left a lot of room to play catch up for these women. For context, the Hardline course is the gnarliest, most high-risk downhill race course out there. And since its inaugural event 10 years ago, it has pushed the progression of the sport tremendously, both in speed and technicality. In 2024, Hardline added a 2nd event for the first time, and that took place in Tasmania. The course was littered with insanely technical sections with high consequences and extremely large features, including drops in the range of 60 feet. Now, a course like this, only the best riders in the world can tackle. The Tasmania event had Hardline rookies Harriet Burbage-Smith and Gracie Hemstreet in attendance, and Gracie Hemstreet was the first lady to ever lay down a top-to-bottom run at any Hardline event. Big up, Gracie. Pauline is one of the most decorated and experienced racers in cyclocross, road, and mountain bike in history. I mean, what can't PFP do? She knows when to turn it on and focus on particular events that she wants to win, and in 2023, she had her eyes set on world champs, winning both the XCO and the XCC Rainbow Stripes in Scotland. That is one major feat, especially considering the very short amount of time between those events and basically no time to recover. With the Summer Olympics coming up in Paris, we know that she's got her eyes on the prize, and we hope to see her in tip-top shape so that she can fight for gold. Unfortunately, Red Bull Formation, a women's only progression session in the freeride mecca of Virgin, Utah, went on a little hiatus in 2023, leaving a lot to be desired by the women of freeride. Now, we hope to see it return, but to fill the void and continue to push the progression on some big mountain lines, Chelsea Kimball was able to rally brands, riders, and creatives for an unreal time in the desert to dig, hang, and session on trails and features most riders had only ever seen from afar. Needless to say, we saw a lot of huge sends from this crew, including canyon gaps, steep lines, and pure freeride goodness surfing that Utah dirt. With a successful cycling career spanning over 3 decades, Tracy Mosley has proven herself to be one of the best and most experienced racers out there, with a background heavily focusing on four-cross, downhill, and enduro racing. All along the way, Tracy has won multiple World Championship titles and overall World Cup titles. Even though she says she retired from racing in 2016, she still dabbles from time to time, and in 2023, she went on to win the most grueling enduro stage race, the Stone King Rally in Europe. The race took place over 6 days and included 24 special stages, 301 kilometers of distance, 8,380 meters ascending, with 22,960 meters descending. At the Stone King Rally, Tracy won 6 out of the 6 days of racing and finished with a 5+ minute lead to her closest competitor. On a quiet and otherwise uneventful Sunday in the boneyard of Whistler Bike Park, as Crankworx was winding down after a successful Red Bull Joyride slopestyle competition the day prior, a small but highly experienced group of female riders were invited to session the FMB Diamond Level slopestyle course. Even with expert skills, this course was easily the biggest that any of these athletes had ever had the opportunity to ride, and they made extremely quick work of it, with only a few hours in the morning to work their way through as many features as they could. By the end of the session, a few of the riders were able to link together almost an entire run on this iconic slopestyle course and were throwing tricks the whole way down. This young German rider has had quite the breakout year since 2023. Not only has Patricia stood atop podiums in the FMB World Tour as an assassin of the slopestyle discipline, but she also became a Red Bull-sponsored athlete after receiving her Red Bull helmet at Crankworx Whistler. She then went on to land a few women's firsts at the Swatch Nines event later in 2023, including a 540 and a backflip triple bar spin. What can't this girl do? Alexandra might not be a household name here on Pinkbike, but let me tell you, she is one of the gnarliest and fiercest mountain bikers of this era by far. She has won multiple endurance mountain bike events, including the Tour Divide race, which is over 2,700 miles long. She holds records for the single speed categories for the Arizona Trail, Colorado Trail, and the Tour Divide. Now, why Alexandra made this list of monumental moments from the past year is because she was able to beat her own single speed record at the Tour Divide this past summer. She beat her previous time by 2 hours, finishing the entire race in 18 days, 18 hours, and 26 minutes. Now, that is a long time to be in the saddle and stuck in the pain cave, but she seems to love it. It was only a few years ago that just a few women got the invite to ride the Darkfest course, and here we are now. Not only are they riding this insanely huge course littered with massive features, some of them measuring over 100 feet in distance, but some have completed full top to bottom runs and others have focused on throwing the biggest tricks they have with the most amount of hang time possible, all while battling wind holds and usual call times of 6 a.m. Earlier in 2024, Robin Gooms was able to complete a full run on the infamous course, and if that didn't feel good enough, she and Harriet Burbridge-Smith were able to party train into the huge step-up jump, both with back-to-back backflips. Arriving this late into the game to a course that's literally bigger than life, it presents its own challenges, but this crew more than stepped up. Via Verbeek has gone from World Cup downhill racer to the queen of Crankworx and has found her way to the freeride discipline. She was actually one of the first riders to ride at Red Bull Formation in 2019. The growth and evolving as a rider has been nothing short of astonishing. Since injuring herself at Red Bull Formation in 2022 and literally laying her body on the line for the sake of progression, Vaya's been battling back through a couple of injuries. Those setbacks don't seem to have slowed her down, and in her words, she is riding the best she ever has. Now, off the back of a successful freeride fiesta event down in Mexico, Vaya headed to Darkfest in South Africa and made quick work of the course as she threw down some of the biggest tricks all week, including Superwomen's, no-foot cans, tuck no-handers, and many more. At the end of the week, Vaya rightfully earned the Queen of Darkfest title that was voted on by her fellow riders. This freerider from Barcelona has been an integral part of the mountain bike community for years, but 2023 saw a lot of huge progression and firsts from Gemma. For years, she has been part of the Masters of Dirt family, the world's wildest freestyle show, while building her massive bag of tricks. One trick in particular that caught our eye was a huge front flip that she's now throwing at multiple events. We love that she thrives in these live, high-stress, super hectic environments while landing some of the biggest tricks in the biz. Possibly one of, if not the most monumental moments that happened in women's cycling in the past year, in my humble opinion anyway, is having the return of our friend and co-worker Alicia Leggett here at Pinkbike. Now, she suffered a life-threatening bike accident that undoubtedly changed her world, and we are so happy to have her back. We can't be more excited as co-workers and friends to have back the bubbly and lovable person that Alicia is to us all. She brings so much to the Pinkbike family and audience and has overcome so many major hurdles. We cannot be more excited as co-workers and friends to have back the bubbly and lovable person that Alicia is to us all. She brings so much to the Pinkbike family and audience and has overcome some major hurdles, both mentally and physically, for the past year and a half. Alicia, if you're watching this, we're so thankful for you. Now, of course, there are many more monumental moments that have happened within women's cycling in the past year, and these are just a few. So go ahead, head to the comment section, let us know what we missed, and also while you're there, give your favorite female rider a little shout out. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you don't already, subscribe to the channel.